I get a lot of comments from people who watch my videos, and I think they misunderstand. Sometimes I'll hear someone say something like, oh, she doesn't believe in annulment, or she's not Catholic, or the questions I get from people that say, I filed for an annulment. Is it not valid? Am I still married? And so I need to set the record clear because apparently some of the fault is on me for not being clear as possible. So I want to make sure I am. I want to say 100%, I am not against annulment. Even Jesus recognized annulment. You're saying, what? This is one of the biggest misunderstandings. I'm sorry, I'm pulling it right back up here. I am not against annulment because Jesus was not against annulment. When I speak against the scandalizing of the annulment system that has taken place. But I need to go back to truth. Right here, yet again, Matthew 19:9 says, I say to you, whoever divorces his wife, and in parentheses it says, unless the marriage is unlawful, and marries another, commits adultery. Remember, every other gospel says, anyone who marries another is adultery. Anyone who divorces, marries another, is adultery. This is the only one that says, where a lot of our Protestant brothers and sisters, and now some of our Catholic brothers and sisters who don't understand, say, oh, there is this adultery clause. No, there isn't an adultery clause. What the Lord specifically said there was, you divorce, it's adultery, unless, of course, this was unlawful in the first place. It wasn't a valid marriage. So I guess this video is on two purposes. For my Protestant brothers and sisters who like to think there's an out for adultery, that's not unconditional love. Love means having no conditions, which means if your spouse cheats on you, you are to still love them. Hard, painful, yeah. Devastating, knife to your heart, absolutely. But Jesus never gives us an out. So that only became an understanding really in the past couple hundred years. Not even Luther said in the case of infidelity. Go look it up. That was a modern translation from Protestant ministers that came after Luther. Everyone knew that marriage was indissoluble until death. That's it. Which we can go back to King Henry or Henry VIII and find out why he was fighting to get an annulment, because he knew he couldn't divorce. He was trying to get it to prove that no marriage existed in the first place. So the first part of this video is clarifying God did not say, except for the case of sexual immorality. If you're reading something and you're looking for that easy out, you're going to have to face God. You better do your due diligence. And if you ask and you hear from a preacher, think to yourself, well, is this preacher married or divorced? Might he have a reason to give me an out? Or who educated him? Where did he get his training? And then who did that person get their training from? You've got to go back to Jesus, period. So the second point is referring to those comments I get. Christine Bacon is as Catholic can be, and I am not going to go against the Catholic Church. And like Jesus said, we must check and see if a marriage was valid or unlawful, period. So the annulment system, the Catholic Church has never dissolved a marriage in all of its history. Never. It has gone in through this process to see if a marriage was unlawful. It either says, yes, it was unlawful, or yes, it was valid. I agree with that. I do also agree, as I've said before, and I'm going to say it again, the system's been scandalized. When you have 48 dioceses in America that are approving 100% of all annulments coming through, going, really? None of them was valid? Really? Every one of those priests who met those people, who you tribunal never met, saw no impediment, but you did? 100% of them. Do you not deny any of them? There are some dioceses that deny some. But this is pointing out when I do these videos that system's been scandalized. It's been infiltrated by Satan to convince people that, oh, yeah, you weren't mature enough. You couldn't have handled marriage. So for those of you, I will say again, who have gotten an annulment, if you are Catholic too, our responsibility is to Holy Mother Church. So if you pursued an annulment and you got it, it's valid. You also have the right to appeal it. If you appeal it and Rome says, sorry, that your marriage was valid, that annulment, we're going to override it, then good for you. But if you don't appeal it, it was still valid. It's just like any court of law. You accept the outcome or not. But I'm not judging you. Who am I to judge? I'm a horrible sinner. But I am here to educate. I am here to do my vocation, which is to teach, because I'm going to have to answer to God. And you guys can throw all the sticks and stones. You guys can call names. You mostly don't. I appreciate those of you who go, thanks for the truth. But I say, you're never going to be judged by me because you're never going to have to answer to me. When you die, you're going to have to face God. And I will not have a stain on my conscience saying, I was too embarrassed to say that or tell that person. So I'm just here to tell you the truth. Your job, now that you've seen this video, is to do your research. Do your research. Now that you know there's a scandalized system, are you going to go and take advantage of it? Or do you truly in your heart believe that your marriage wasn't valid? Then go after it and find out. Or do you truly believe that an annulment was given and shouldn't have been? Then go and appeal it. But as for me and my house, right, I'm going to serve the Lord. Jesus told the church, told Peter, who is the Pope, who's the Catholic Church, what you bind on earth is bound in heaven. What you loose on earth is loosed in heaven. Let them answer to God. So if your marriage was loosed, if they said it never existed, then that's valid. And if it said, yes, it did exist, then that's valid. I hope this helps. Hope it clarifies. We just all have to do our best to live a life worthy of our calling, which means seeking truth, which means carrying our crosses, which means doing God's will. I'm trying my best, and I'm going to do my best to help you do your best. And if you need help doing your best, give me a call. You can always find me, Christine at breakfastwithbacon.com. I'd love to help. Thanks for watching. And remember, no matter how difficult things may get, remember to live your life sunny side up.